Hello, everyone, and welcome to your weekly dose of truth tarot with me, Terry Anakitis. Bird is in his cage today because we have cleaning going on, and we don't want that door to get open and the bird to go out. So it's just me, though you might hear him tweet in the background if he hears me talking a lot. All right, so we want to look at what's up this week, what's going on. So I'm going to give you one insight or intuition that's been coming up. It's been more of a feel-good week. I'd say starting about Tuesday, the energy shifted. So that would have been the 7th of October, 2025. Today is the 9th of October, sorry, the 10th of October, 2025. And we are looking at what's going on with that energy. How's that energy going to pan out for us? And am I even accurate when it comes to the energy? So here we go. Let's see what we've got going on here. So I've got the cards. We're going to pick three. Let's go one. Let's pick one from over here, two. And let's go over here, three. I'll move these away. So here we've got confusion, illusions, and Venus, which is an offer, and then we've got air, which is the Ace of Swords. All right. So if we look at this, we've got the middle card, the sort of offering or messages coming in that, and it's a feminine message. This even looks like a yoni here, right? Venus, the mound of Venus type thing. So there's an offer. As we know, the feminine is more related to rejection, like the uterus is related to rejection. It gets rid of toxins. It, makes sure it can accept or reject the baby, the fetus. So between that offer, that something that is being offered out, something that is beautiful, that is coming, I would say, to fruition as well. That can land between, is that offer something I want to accept or reject? Sitting between two swords, all right? Now, this is illusions. It's not necessarily a tarot deck, right? This isn't tarot. This is the Yin Yang Oracle, but they are bringing up an ace of air. Air is obviously the mind, and confusion also relates to the mind. We're confused in the mind. So if we sandwich that between whatever is offered, now is that you offering something to someone else, or is it something being offered to you? So you're getting that offer. Now let's look at divine providence. Let's look at what goes on. These are things we have to be cautious of at times, that in the world there are energies all around us, and sometimes people get super paranoid and say, I gotta protect myself from those energies. I gotta be, I need all kinds of symbols to protect me. Yes, but you don't want to be paranoid about it. You want to be able to use your wit so that you're not confused, you're straight up. So just imagine that I like the word matrix, or if you think of a bunch of patterns, and the patterns are in all these lines that surround you. If my patterns are karmically free and, confusion free, energetic, which is not quite possible unless you're God, I guess, or you're the creator of the universe, or something absolutely perfect. I don't think we're designed to be completely perfect here. I think we need to have these imperfections so that we're understanding what's going on, especially if it's a fight between good and evil. So if you think of good, evil, devil, and God having arguments, if I've got some difficulties in life, I won't fall prey to making a deal with the devil, let's say. So if everything's working out for me, it could be that the devil is disguising itself, and I keep making kind of like the frog when you put it in warm water and you slowly heat up the water until it boils, and it boils the frog to death. I want to be careful of those things, because if life seems so good and there's no interruptions, and that we don't notice that the devil is around us, we don't notice that we've made some kind of deal with it, because the devil wants to make it nice and comfy for us. The more comfortable we are in our stuff, well, then, could be highly likely. It's very hard to judge, but when you're looking on the outside, you go, why do good people tend to suffer a lot more than people who are doing bad things, let's say? And you kind of go, well, how am I supposed to know whether that's bad or not, right? So I look at things and go, well, maybe it isn't bad. Maybe I just think it's bad. Maybe I just think what this person is doing is a bad thing. Like if somebody breaks the law and they tell me that they broke the law because they were unjustly treated. So now that I'm unjustly treated, they say, then I should do the same to the other, which is, in vengeance in many ways, but also tit for tat kind of thing. I find that really interesting. I'm not very good in my world, in my way of looking at things, at saying that, oh, if someone does something, I must do the same thing back to them. I would like for them to understand what it feels like, to understand how that can be a wrong thing to do, but I don't want them to necessarily be severely punished. But if you think at the same time that if someone is doing wrong and let's say it's breaking the law or breaking the laws of the Ten Commandments, just sin in some way, then many things ensue, right? Like if you look at these two cards here, you've got confusion and then air. Let me bring these up a bit. Let's move these up. I'd love to see this showing itself a lot better to you. And I think they're upside down. I should have checked. Actually, why don't I just turn the... There we go. There we go. Much better. Excuse me, guys. I know I plugged this up many times. All right. So confusion was the first card, and Venus is the second, and air is our third card. So one of the things that can really get to us, which is very much like the Crime and Punishment. One of my favorite books. Read it when I was quite young, I think. But it's a school book, so it must have been 15 when I read the book, and it so impressed me that someone thinking they can commit the perfect crime, and yet once he does commit the perfect crime, he ends up feeling so guilty, and that guilt ends up bringing him near the scene of the crime, and basically he can't live with himself. So this part of the book just really is kind of seared in my heart, and I think it's seared in my heart because I definitely feel the same way about doing something that is wrong, whether I wrong a friend, whether I wrong someone. If I've done something actually that is bad to them, which it completely. I think I did a couple of bad things when I was a kid, and that was enough for me to go, I'm not doing anything like that again. And one of the reasons that you might do something bad is you were looking around and people are saying, okay, why are you? People call me a goody two shoes, goody, you're so moral, you're so this. And yes, it's true. And then I tried to see what it was like to do something that isn't so nice. Like somebody picked on me, so I said, okay, what was it like to pick on someone? This was many years after being picked on, and did not like it. Did not like it at all. I found it worse to pick on someone than I did to be picked on. That's interesting enough. So if you look at confusion and then the messages that come from air, sorry, not the messages, the beginning of ideas that comes from ace of air, these are the parts in our mind that can distort the message, right? So the offer that comes. So if I'm getting an offer from the devil and my mind says, well, why don't I just accept that offer? They're making the offer. Let me just accept it. They agree with it, so I'll agree with it. I'm not quite sure that it is above board, but why don't I do it? And then you get into a huge amount of trouble. This is where we need that discernment to know when to reject the offer. Then there's the next part, which is if you're receiving a message, okay, so it's not just an offer, but it's a message. And that message comes in, and your mind interprets the message the way you want to. So it's almost the same kind of thing. An offer is a little bit different than a message, but we can be offered this message. Venus is very feminine, and if you think in biblical terms, the snake got to Eve. So Eve saw the snake. The snake says, "Go, go eat that apple," and then Eve convinces Adam, and they go and they eat that from the tree of knowledge. And of course, we know what happens next. So when we look at that feminine, and by the way, it is not about women and men, not about man and woman. It's about feminine and masculine. So when I think of the feminine being the intuitive side. So men are intuitive, women are intuitive. Women might be more intuitive, have a greater capacity to house intuition within the body because we are feminine. That's just the way it works because we are in a female body. But it is not necessarily much greater. I've known so many men who are super intuitives. They can, scan a body and know exactly where a tumor is and know where cancer is in the body, know where there's, the start of a disease as well as any woman, if not better. Okay, so this is not, again, I always have to repeat this because people mistake it, and I know I'm still going to hear from someone that, men are intuitive too. Absolutely, we're talking about the feminine. And if you look at, it said that a woman's body houses 51% feminine, 49% masculine. That makes me, a woman. And then for a man, it's going to be 51% masculine, 49% feminine. It's really not a massive difference, is it? It's not huge. But those differences, so what makes us the same is huge. It's way bigger. So between a man and a woman, it's way bigger what makes us the same. We've got 49% in each of us that is the same. Then we've got this 1% that plays around and makes a difference. So then you're going to see a woman. We're going to have a little bit, let's say, ability to juggle a lot of things, whereas a man is like, oh God, don't confuse me. I just need to focus on this one thing. And how do we know that? Well, we know that because when I am in my masculine, like doing my work, what I'm doing right now, I'm in my office, I am video recording this, there's a lot going on, I'm thinking about the cards, I'm thinking what I need to tell you. I can also hear a bird in the kitchen, and I have someone in my house helping clean up. So these things are disrupting me. So I know I am focused in my masculine, I'm in the zone. But if something starts to pull me out of the zone, I'm going to want to refocus again. Now, sometimes I can manage that. I can have 10 people talking and I can still talk, and sometimes I cannot. So I know when I am more involved in my masculine. Why? It could be the planets right now. It could be because this is going on. We've got confusion in air. So if I'm hearing a lot of noises, I'm actually not having Too bad at the time. I just heard the upper apartment kind of bang bang, and I heard it, but it was in the background. Whereas when I am tired, when my nervous system is on edge, when I haven't, let's say, eaten or drunk enough water, maybe a sip of water, maybe a bite to eat, I will not be able to focus. So you can test that for yourself. You know the differences between masculine and feminine, and take a peek. We know the nighttime is feminine. We know dream life is feminine. We know that daytime, the sun, is masculine. In French, it's le soleil, la lune. The female, feminine is the moon, and masculine is the sun. So these things are good to know because it helps us understand those aspects within ourselves. We're not doing this to create division. We're doing this to support a better understanding of ourselves and why we are in some ways different, because there's no way that men and women are not going to say that they're different. It doesn't mean that a man or a woman can't do what the other does, but there are certain things that are different, like I would have to do a heck of a lot to beat a man, who's built up muscularly, and you're not going to be able to do it. We've got a different physiological construction. Let's say tomorrow we created a womb for a man. Okay, he might be able to house a baby, but what's going to happen to that surge of hormones in the body? What's going to happen to them? Will they be able to tolerate it? And what will be the variations in tolerance for those things? Yeah, lots of different things that we could question. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to find a person who's going to have way more feminine, yet they're in a male body, but have a lot more feminine. And of course, it also changes, which is so interesting, right? I just mentioned that with myself. If I'm a little bit tired, if I haven't had enough water, I may not be able to multitask as well as when I'm, I've properly eaten, I've had proper sleep, proper rest time, proper entertainment time, all of these different aspects that nurture us in the best way possible. You can look around the world and see how many, what is the percentage of women who come home, bring home the bacon, the husband is going to cook, clean, take care of the kids, and she brings home the money. From my experience, this is just my experience, so you can say I'm inaccurate and statistically it's different. Sure, you can. But right now, from all of my experience, there is hardly a woman who will tell me I am very happy to bring home the bacon. Most women will tell me I am never, ever, ever going to pay for a man. So if I meet a man and I'm living with him, there is no way I am going to pay for it. No uncertain terms. He has to take care of himself. I find it fascinating. Whereas men go, yeah, sure, I'll pay for it. Yeah, sure. Okay, she can't spend more than I earn, and she can't spend more than, what would be the percentage. We want to pay for, let's say, a house. We want to pay. They're usually that way. They're very, they see the whole vision of the future, and they go, okay, this is what we need to do. This is how much you can spend, but you can spend it. Do what you need with it. You can take care of the groceries and do everything. But you can't come and take more than I have, nor can you put me into debt, etc. But I've seen women who go, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all. So it's kind of fascinating how we operate between feminine and masculine. Why? What am I trying to say here? Well, when we look at our messages, we need to understand ourselves really well. And this feminine and masculine is a great way to have a better understanding. So when we understand, again, if you go through a list of 100 different character traits of masculine and feminine, I'm not talking about the percentage, the 49%. That is, well, it's not 49%. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that before. I correct it. It is way more than 49% because it's 99% of men and women are the same, and it's that 1% that would define us differently. I'm sorry, I did that before. Correction. All right, so 9% is just human. That's what we do as humans. And then there's this difference that varies. It varies. So I know certain qualities of myself, but I might go, yeah, I'm better at multitasking, but boy, oh boy, sometimes I can't even focus. What's bringing that up is this confusion here. So for all of us, we might feel like we need a lot more rest because we're confused. Now, if you're in a man's body, you might just need to remain focused, like block everything out. Women are not so good at just blocking everything out and focusing. So um, let's say my partner, he's in his masculine, he's confused, he goes into a room and he focuses. I can't, because every little noise, even the sound of my own heartbeat and blood moving through my head will just throw me off. And there's nothing I can do because focusing isn't enough. What I have to do is completely turn off all sensory input. And when I turn off all sensory input, my body can rest and then I can go back to either focusing or multitasking. But you discover that for yourself. But I'm just playing with this confusion that can lead to illusions because offering comes in the middle, offer, which can also be interpreted as messages. Those are in the middle. We have to be very careful not to put an illusion on the messages that we receive or the offerings that we receive. So an offering could be something from the devil, as I mentioned, or your message that you're hearing, you can misinterpret it. And then it's sandwiched on the other side by Ace of Air, which means, this offering is way too mental. You got to feel into it, which is where we come into the feminine. We need to sense in the gut as well. Is this a good thing to do? Men and women, we can all do that. All right, so this week, what you need to kind of be looking out for is your own illusions in how you interpret offers or messages. 1. 2, the second thing is to look at, are you being offered something that is too good to be true? That's one way to know the devil's there. Is it too comfortable? Is it too nice? Think it through, okay? Just think everything through. And then we'll see next week what's going to happen. Thanks, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe. That really will help out the channel. We can, get more and more readings out there. You can also ask questions. Let me know what's going on, and you can join up and take a tarot class with us. We're going to my partner in crime, let's say, in tarot is Eloise Ansell, and I'm Terry Anakitis, and Eloise and I are going to be moving our platform. It looks like to school, but we'll keep you informed, SKOOL. So you'll be able to look for either Dose of Truth Tarot. A lot of people have told me that they love hearing your weekly Dose of Truth Tarot. They really like it. But if you feel like we should change our name, you can also let me know about that too. And if you have any advice as to what name would be even better for us. All right, so have a lovely week. And welcome to, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, October is getting kind of coolish. All right, be well.